Welcome back everyone. This is the secondary session around VCF, and today with my colleague Arnaud Gandibleux, virtualization consultant, we will deep dive around the NSX component from VCF.
Okay, thanks for inviting me.
Thank you, Arnaud. Can you explain a bit more about NSX? Is it easy to deploy with VCF?
Yeah, sure. Like already was mentioned in the first video, VCF is the integrated stack, or an integrated stack with the different VMware products.
Okay.
NSXT is being used for the networking part. So all the automated deployment is already done, as explained in the first lightboard session. So on top of this automated platform deployment done by the SDN manager, another useful part of using NSXT as part of VCF is the automated creation of several networks. So in the management network, two NSXT overlay segments are being created by default during the deployment. So we have two segments, so overlay NSXT overlay segments, one called region A, and the other one is a cross-region segment.
So it works a bit like subnets.
A segment is indeed, you can compare it with subnets. It can be VLAN backed or overlay backed, but that's just going deeper into the NSXT level. So the two segments which are being created by default out of the VCF deployment are region A and the X region segment. These segments, as you can tell already, region A is a local region being used for components locally without disaster recovery or the need of disaster recovery. Okay. And the cross-region one is the one for the components which do need disaster recovery. These two segments are being used for deploying the whole vRealize stack. So the vRealize stack with components like login side, networking side, vRops or vRealize automation.
The cloud management platform.
Yeah, the whole stack.
I see.
So besides the automated or automatically created segments in the management domain, you can also create some segments in the workload domain. So they are not created automatically, but you can create them yourself. So for this purpose, I will create two segments in the workload domain, one called segment X and another one segment Y. Just two segments, two subnets which you can use to deploy your workloads, your applications on.
Okay, and could you tell me more about the capabilities that NSX bring to the network layer on VCF?
Yeah, sure. So besides layer 2 networking, so layer 2 just your segments, there is also the capability to add layer 3 capabilities on there. So with distributed router, the NSXT distributed router, which is located as well in your workload domain, you can deploy a distributed router with additional services like netting, load balancing, and even firewalling.
Oh, it's quite complete. You can run a whole data center with those functions.
Indeed. The whole network stack can be virtualized with NSXT.
Yeah.
So to go maybe deeper in on the firewalling part. Yeah. So firewalling, everybody knows, protecting his gateway, so north-south connectivity from inside to outside your data center. But with NSXT, you can also introduce microsegmentation. So you will also being able to protect your east-west traffic, so traffic within your own data center.
Yeah, traffic that is usually not secured by default.
Indeed. Most companies just protect their gateway at the edge of their data center. So you cannot run before you can walk, of course. Segmentation, microsegmentation is something that is often be done in a phased approach. With the introduction of the NSXT distributed firewall, you can implement the microsegmentation independently from the segment where your applications are running on.
Okay.
So, for example, the first phase could be that you are defining and securing the different larger environments in your data center. So, for example, you could have a test environment, a test environment, and a production environment.
Yeah, very typical.
Indeed. So these are logically separated from each other. So a VM running in dev would not be able to communicate anymore with a VM, for example,
Okay.
in test.
Even on the same segment.
Even on the same segment.
Nice.
A second phase of the microsegmentation could be that you just do a split on functional level.
Mm-hmm.
So within one environment, you could say that, for example, you have a typical 3D application. You could, for example, say web, app, and then the DB VM. By doing the functional split, you would say that web will not be able to talk anymore to the DB directly, but has to follow the flow, like web is talking to app, and the app is talking to the DB. So that could be the second phase of your microsegmentation process. The last phase could even be more narrow, that you just isolate each application from each other as well. So besides the environmental split, besides the functional split, as well isolation on application level.
That way we achieve zero trust security.
Indeed.
Okay.
Zero trust security, only secure the flows you want.
Okay. Nice. And well, I can imagine that if you have a whole data center that runs on that kind of deployment, it can become very complex. How do you keep track of what is happening on those NSX segments? And also, what are the relationship with the outside world, with the legacy and physical hardware?
Yeah, I can understand your question, Thomas. You have a bunch of data flows within your data center or going out your data center. The VMware product vRealize networking side can help you with that.
Okay.
It's not by default integrated or deployed in the default VCF installation, but it can be added very, very easily. So the network insight product will also be placed in your management domain, and by adding, for example, your vCenters and NSX managers into Network Insight as a data source, it will give you an unprecedented view on all your data flows. Now, I just mentioned all the virtualized components, part of VCF, but there's also a possibility to add some physical routers, physical switches in your environment. So, for example, your top of rack switches, and as well some legacy firewalls, just all connected or integrated as a data source into Network Insight. Of course, with all these insights you are collecting with Network Insight, your microsegmentation process will get accelerated and more precise from the beginning. You will no longer have to guess how your applications are flowing within your data center. So it will really give you a nice overview on how your flows are traversing your data center.
Thank you everyone for watching this lightboard session. It was very interesting. I think now that you have a clear view of what NSX brings as value for the VCF and how it helps it to keep it secure. Please like the video and subscribe it our YouTube channel, and see you in the later session around how VCF can be automated through vRealize automation. Thank you.
Have a good day.
If you'd like to see more of this content, subscribe to our channel, like the video, click the little bell to be notified. We'll have more awesomeness coming your way very soon.
Absolutely.